Welcome to the show with no interference. Get all your NFL needs made by fans for the fans. We are your hosts, West Side, Big Sass, and the Bull. So here we go. All right, welcome to the show. It is No Interference, and we are your hosts, West Side, Big Sass, and the Bull. Finally, after a little layover, we got the whole crew back together. So
that could be better than ever.
NFL training camp is picking up. So we got a few topics to go over, and as promised, we are going to be doing we're starting our win-loss predictions for the year. So first news on the plate. Pittsburgh Steelers safety Minkah Fitzpatrick. He signs a 4-year extension worth $73.6 million. I might have written that down wrong. Was it a 3-year extension?
Yeah, I think it was a little less than that.
Regardless, he signed an extension worth $73.6 million, making him the highest paid safety in the league, jumping
Jamal Adams.
Yeah, Blitz Boy.
Jamal Adams only by a hair over your boy Byard.
I mean, where's Marcus Williams at? He signed a decent deal with the Ravens.
You make a... Oh, wait, Marcus Williams is up there, too.
Yeah.
He's fourth.
Yeah, it's per year. It's per year. Yeah. Not to get sidetracked with... What's Seahawks? What's the name again?
Jamal Adams.
Jamal Adams.
And exactly, he's forgetful.
Yeah, you make a few big hits.
So.
You get like one career interception, and a team will trade 2 first-round picks and give you a massive contract just to regret it. But Minkah Fitzpatrick, what do you guys think? Deserving of the deal, or right time, right place?
I think a little bit of both. He definitely has he's definitely the top tier safety in the league. He's always near the ball. He knows how to, he knows his angles. He knows where to be, when to be there. He's fast. He can hit. He can do it all. I mean, when the Dolphins traded him, I was kind of shocked. But they were kind of doing that rebuild process, so it made sense that the Steelers needed secondary.
Those are their tank year.
Yeah. I think it's just how the market goes. We talked about the market a lot recently, and you just got to keep paying them more and more. I think everybody's getting overpaid to a certain extent when it comes to the value, but I would have done it. If he was my safety, I wouldn't have minded the contract.
Agreed.
Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of paying super high dollar for safeties, but I mean, I didn't watch a ton of Steelers games last year or his highlights, but I mean, he had 124 tackles, 2 interceptions, forced fumble. He stayed relatively healthy, it looks like his whole career.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm pretty sure he's added some juice to that Steelers defense, and they need all the talent they can get. So it lines up with what the Steelers do. I mean, they have him. They already did they already extend TJ Watt?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they have him, and then
on the line,
Cam Hayward.
I don't know if
not Hayward. Yeah, they have Cam Hayward.
And Tuitt retired too, which
I don't think they're gonna. I don't know if they're gonna end up extending Devin Bush or if they're gonna let him walk because he's kind of struggled. But
since he got hurt, that injury seemed to really mess him up.
Yeah,
yeah.
But on Fitzpatrick, I think it's. I mean, I don't have a huge opinion. I don't think it's a bad signing. I think it's a lot of money, but they're in a position right now where they don't really have a quarterback, and that's the time to spend on other positions. So hopefully,
defense, they need to.
I mean, hopefully Trubisky or maybe Pickett turns out.
Yeah, I like Fitzpatrick. He has some versatility. He can play in the box. He can play deep. The year they traded for him, he popped off and it was like he was going to pick every single game.
Mm-hmm.
They should continue having a solid pass rush to kind of amplify him. I do think it's one of those things where, like, if you're any defender on, say, the Steelers or the Ravens, you kind of get, I won't say overrated, but like you get boosted. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like any linebacker that goes to the Ravens and has an okay year, everyone automatically is like, oh, Pro Bowler, one of the best linebackers in the league. Like teams that have a history of having a good defense, like if you're
Mm-hmm.
okay for them, like people just
Yeah. Well, the standard was
naturally,
Troy Polamalu, Ed Reed, Ray Lewis. You know, those
yeah.
back when we
Well,
were growing up, those were the
yeah,
defenses to
they
watch.
have a history. Yeah, they have a history. But good for him. I mean, I'm for the most part, I'm all for players getting
Side note
paid.
though, Derwin James now, how much is he going to make in the upcoming contract negotiations? What, next year?
Um,
He's probably going to be the next highest paid safety, and it's going to keep going up like every other position. It's just going to keep going up and up.
Has he stayed healthy after a couple of them injury years?
he's been
He said
he's
he
always
has
banged
the bug
up.
though.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's the bug.
Well, I was
That's for sure.
thinking more so than him because of his injuries. Jesse Bates on the Bengals,
Yeah, same division too.
and I like him. You know, he made a lot of plays in the playoffs for him. He's the one that got that pass breakup deflection that turned into a pick on Tyreek Hill against the Chiefs. But yeah, those two are definitely the next up. And the way the league goes, if you want to be the next guy, you always get more money typically.
Mm-hmm.
But hey, we discussed it the last show. NFL's printing money. As long as your owner has deep pockets, you can move money around, sign players however you want. So we'll see how this goes. Staying in the safety market, Kari Willis, the safety for the Indianapolis Colts, he is retiring after three pretty productive years with the Colts after being a fourth round pick out of Michigan State. Um, I think this just goes to, you know, the last decade. We're seeing younger players just decide that it's time to walk away from the game.
Yeah, I mean, if it's his time, it's his time. It's hard to sit on the outside looking in and try to figure out what a player's thinking or what they want to do. But if they want to do something else and the passion isn't football, you can't blame them for walking away. It's we all look at them, especially outside looking. We look at the money they're making to be an NFL player. It's like, why would you walk away from this great opportunity? But if it's not in your heart, it's not in your heart. You can't put it all out there if you don't have anything to give.
Yeah.
He wants to be a minister. He wants to be a minister.
Yeah, if he has another passion, I mean, it's not like he's made money. Like he's made more than a lot of people will in their lifetime in 3 years. So you know what? He decided he has another passion, wants to move on. Good for him.
Mm-hmm. He can always come back being so young too. He's only 26. Say he goes away for a year, he's like, "Oh, I was wrong. I regret this immediately." He can bounce right back.
And maybe now he'll, get into his 40s and he'll not have his body breaking down on him.
Mm-hmm. Do you think part of players, especially like you mentioned, the last decade, maybe the last 5 years, are retiring more because the amount of money that players make? Because you get, I mean, I don't know what his contract was as a fourth round pick, but whatever it was and whatever guaranteed money he has, I mean, you have to feel some kind of, it's got to make your decision to step away from the game a little bit easier to pursue something you want to do, especially, I mean, obviously he's a man of faith in God if he wants to
be a minister.
Be a minister.
He earned about, I think I read like $4 million.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean,
if he's
if
smart
I could,
with his money too, I mean, that money could last you a long time. You know how he is with his investments. You never know. He could have been like, well, I'm not going to go and buy this nice watch buy a car and a house and all this other stuff. The material items. He could have saved his money and be like, hey, I can live comfortably for the rest of my life with the right moves, and then preach and do whatever you want to do to help the world, whatever that's what he wants to do.
I mean, he's 26, and he can basically. I think he he has a nice family. I think him and his wife have twins, I believe, and he can move on to something he actually wants to do, and he has a few million in his back pocket to help him. So, good for him. Go for it.
Yeah, yeah.
I do think. Wow, I just lost my train. Oh, that's what I can't remember what show it was, or else I would shout him out. But there's one show had Brandon Marshall, the linebacker, on.
The Broncos,
Yeah, the former Broncos. I don't
former
think he's on.
Broncos, yeah.
Yeah, former Broncos linebacker, and they were asking him about, I guess life in the NFL from a player's perspective, and he covered a lot more. But he was going on and on about how a majority of players in the NFL are like miserable, but they're good enough to be in the NFL and they're making millions.
It's like any job. I mean, you have to have,
Yeah,
if you want to keep, some people could suck it up for the money depending on how much they're making. But I think
How
most
many
people nowadays, especially our generation, likes to find something they actually enjoy doing from like what gives them self-fulfillment more than anything.
Yeah, I mean they're putting in way more work than we are.
And especially
And
physically. I mean, they're grinding 7, 8 months out of the year. Most of them do year-round workouts and stuff.
yeah, think about all the stories. Mostly it's from like, we'll think about it this way. Josh Allen just said it in an interview. He throws up before every game. I mean, if you're like that nervous to throw before a game, that's taxing on your body just to have those kind of nerves every week.
The
And you
mental
hear
stress
this,
alone.
yeah, and you hear stories of old players like just peeing their pants and right on the line,
Yeah.
or you see them all the time puke right on the field. So I mean, that's just week to week stress. I mean, I don't want to pee my pants on a football field, and they
The
just do it.
anxiety. I couldn't imagine the anxiety alone from the first time playing in front of millions of people. And we keep getting reports recently too about how the NFL is like, out of all the major sporting events last year, I think it was 100, whatever it was, 97 of them were NFL games of the like top broadcasting. So like, these are it's also the criticism from everybody on the outside too, beating them up mentally. It's just, and then physically too.
Yeah.
I just want to be
Working
a career backup
ice baths.
quarterback.
Yeah,
Backup
that's
quarterback.
not a bad gig if you think about it. You don't have to come in every once
It's
in a
not
while.
a bad gig, but that one time you have to come in and then you
pipe
crap
you.
the bed.
Yeah,
Did
you crap your pants fit or literally and
Are you about to talk about Blaine Gabbert?
Yeah, so that's an old take, but it's been on the show, Busting
I
with the
just heard about
Boys. It was 2017 or 2018 when the Titans were tied with the Colts and they were playing week 17. Winner goes to the playoffs, loser goes home. Mariota got hurt, so they're saying Blaine Gabbert comes in the huddle and he's like, "All right, boys, watch Daddy about to slice these guys up." And then they said his third pass was a pick six.
Oh, Jesus. That's confidence stuff if I've ever seen it. Jesus.
What's they were saying?
What's your lineman's name?
Taylor Lewan.
Yeah, he said he was going for like a cut block or whatever, and he was laying on the ground, and he just turned and looked at Blaine Gabbert, and he was like, "Don't do it," or whatever. And Blaine Gabbert threw it, and it was like he threw it right into the linebacker's chest, and he turned, he rolls over, and he's running back for a touchdown or whatever.
Yeah, I remember that play. We were watching that game together.
Yeah, I remember going back to when Blaine Gabbert was drafted.
I think we were watching
I'm glad we passed
Rick.
over him. Yeah. We passed over him for Ryan Kerrigan. I'm so happy about that.
I mean, hey, there's something to be had about having that confidence.
Hey, he's a first round pick though, and he still got paid that first round pick money in the beginning, and then got to be a career backup for the rest of his life. He did his time.
I would love to just be a backup. You're walking around, you never have to put the helmet on. You have the headset on, the clipboard, just chilling, sipping Gatorade. When the camera turns on to you, just be like, watch the blitz from the strong side. Watch the strong side. And then they're like, oh, look at him diagnosing the plays. And then as soon as the camera goes off you, just go back to the bench with your Gatorade.
And they're just like fluffing with their hair, making sure their hair looks good still.
See, I always thought it sounds like a great gig, but if you think like the competitiveness in you, I feel like you'd be like, I kind of want to get out of there.
Well, yeah, especially the competitiveness because
Yeah.
I think most NFL players they have to have the mentality they have to be the number one dog out there, no matter what. Number one, it's like a pride thing too. And to be just a backup, even though you made it to the big leagues, there's always people around you that talk shit and they're in your head and everybody wants to be better than everybody else. So that can
Well, we
probably
were
eat up
talking,
in the inside a little bit.
yeah, a couple weeks ago or whatever, 2 weeks ago, we were talking about Ryan Fitzpatrick, and I mean, he was kind of a career backup. You don't think every team he got on, he was like probably thinking he's the best quarterback on that team?
I think they had to have that mentality to an extent. I feel like just to make it that far, that's what helps motivate you off the field to keep put in your work, your reps,
Hmm.
workouts, all that. I want to be number one. I'm going to be number one. Y'all can all suck my butt.
I
Is what it
mean,
is.
look at Matt Flynn. He was Aaron Rodgers' backup for a couple of years. Gets the first start of his life when the Packers already had the playoffs locked up, and he drops 6 touchdowns on can't remember what team it is. And then the next year, the Seahawks gave him that big contract.
I
And saying,
forgot about Flynn honestly too.
well,
So
yeah,
I was
because
just trying to
they
remember. I was like, oh
drafted
my god, I forgot about
they
that.
drafted Russ, and he never
Uh-huh.
played. But they're like, oh well, we gave him that contract. Like, I'll be
Yeah,
honest.
he was going in as the starter too when they signed him.
I'll be honest. If I was a backup quarterback, I'd be on the bench looking into the stands and be like, "Let me get some nachos."
Hey, you got extra beer? Just
Then
pour
you
it from
then you
there.
then you lose your
Oh,
job.
Take the Gatorade bottle. Here, top me off.
yeah, right.
The camera. Is he eating nachos and drinking beer?
This
Put a
isn't
towel
the
over it.
1960s.
Who's got the Fireball minis?
God,
What
that's
is he doing over
I hate
there?
Fireball too, but that's all you see around. You see the
In
little
the
fucking
you
Fireball
go in the
minis lying
game.
around
You
everywhere.
go in you go in the game in the huddle. Take a knee. All right, boys. This is the play. Hang on. All right.
the
Unless you're
guy.
John Riggins. If you're John Riggins, you're chugging beers all day, every day, and still scoring touchdowns. As a
Yeah,
running back, but still.
Yep.
that'd be nice. All right.
Would be it's a nice life.
Next order of business. Terry McLaurin not
Scary Terry.
reporting to training camp for the Washington Commanders.
Technically mini camps. They're not technically
Mini
training.
camp, yeah, same thing. But yeah, mini
We
camp.
want so all right. I'm gonna obviously take the lead on this one.
No,
Terry McLaurin,
I'll take the lead.
outside looking in as an Eagles fan, I'm sure you don't want to see him signed, but now I actually like because AJ Brown and him are the best two receivers in their class, and now they're going head to head every year. But either way, so Terry is obviously the best receiver on our roster. He's one of the best. He's in my opinion one of the best receivers in the league. There's a lot, but he's in the top 20, top 10, depending on who you talk to. I think coming out of Washington, they're saying all the right things. Like we want him here. We understand. Like Ron literally it was yesterday. Ron said, "We're gonna get this done." We understand what Terry brings to the organization. I'm in full confidence he will be signed to a new deal before training camp. I think to think otherwise would just be not just negative, but it just doesn't make sense. I know our organization doesn't always make the best moves and the right moves all the time, but if you don't sign Terry, then what's the point of even playing every day? Because you've had somebody who's proven himself with no quarterback. You finally bring in a quarterback that could possibly get something done. Why would you not want to, lock him down long term? I really think that he will be signed with whatever it is, 5 years, $100 million, whatever it is. He's gonna get it, and it's deserved. The markets went up, but that's the thing. It's the next man up, and he's the next man to sign. So give him the money. And if you're a Washington fan and you have some complaints about that, you shouldn't be a fan.
So, what is his? I guess his contract could make him. He's looking for that $100 million range.
Yeah, he's looking for probably the AJ Brown contract is what we're going against next.
4 years,
But
25 mil.
yeah, 25 mil a year. If we can do 5 years, I would like to see 5, just because it's more time that we get him. But whatever it is, if he gets 4 years, I'm waiting, and that's too. I want to get a Terry McLaurin jersey, but if we don't extend him, I ain't getting that jersey because you know how this league is.
Yeah, I think he's deserving of it. I mean, averaging just a smidge over 1,000 yards for his career. He is a good deep ball receiver. He's very smooth route runner. If you look at his career, numerous quarterbacks, most of which are not the most talented QBs in the league, the Washington offense in his time there has had issues maintaining drives, which
Mm-hmm.
affects your ability to produce as a receiver. So you would assume this team is wanting to trend in the positive direction. He's going to be a big part of it. Should
Exactly.
only get better. I mean, let's say they don't sign him. He does play on his last year. Carson Wentz, you can make the argument as the best quarterback he'll have played with, and then he pops off for 1,200 yards and 10 touchdowns. Now he has all the leverage and can say,
All the leverage.
I'm walking to free agency. I'm not playing on a franchise tag, or you guys can make me a top paid wide receiver in the league.
Yeah, because obviously, somebody else will come up and he'll get paid more than Terry. It keeps going and going.
I mean,
But as of right
Metcalf's probably
now,
going to get paid. Debo's probably going to get paid.
exactly. I think you said it perfectly. If we want to stick with this culture change and going in the right direction to change, get fans back in the stands, you sign Terry
Also,
McLaurin.
also with the report that they don't want to re-sign Jonathan Allen.
Jonathan Allen actually got
Oh,
extended.
De'Aaron Payne.
De'Aaron Payne is the one that it's not saying he's in the last year of his contract too, but there's still a chance he gets re-signed too. It just depends because we have so much D-line depth. I think they're trying to trend, things like Terry, the offense. We definitely have the talent on defense to get it done. They have to do it still, but I don't know. I don't think on Duran, I don't think it's all said and done yet either. Depending on how much money he wants too, because he's produced, but he also isn't technically a top D lineman individually.
Yeah,
in the league, it is what it is. I mean, he's good, but I think it's a group effort down there too.
Do you guys have a lot of people coming up due for doll hairs?
Yes and no, not really.
What's
not like
Carson
Terry.
Wentz's contract? How many years does he have left on the one he signed with the Eagles? 2?
It was 3, I think, total.
So you guys have him technically this year and then 2 more years?
Yeah, I believe so.
But you don't owe him.
It's either 2
they
or
can
3.
get out of after this year.
Yeah, but there's a way out. Yeah, exactly.
So even if there, I mean, okay, I'm just thinking, you guys need to pay Terry McLaurin because I mean, like everything you both just said, I'm not going to say more than that because that's obvious.
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
But I was just thinking, like back to what I said about Fitzpatrick. I mean, if you don't have like that young quarterback on the rise that's due for a big contract, now is the time to pay other players to get that Super Bowl winning roster while you can afford them.
Exactly.
So I was just saying, I mean, you have Carson Wentz, but you didn't give him that contract, so you don't have to pay him all that money. Mm-hmm. I don't know what you guys owe him.
He's locked in for the next couple of years, and then obviously, I mean, if he performs well, extend him. That's fine. Give him a new deal too, but that's 3 years down the road.
Do you think there's anything to be said about you guys drafting Jahan Dotson in the first round?
I don't think it has anything to do with Terry at all. I think it's the fact that we didn't really have a number 2 wide receiver. We don't have somebody else. I mean, even with Curtis Samuel signing, which still, even this year going in, he's still not going to be the number 2. Yeah. We needed a true number 2, that somebody that obviously everybody knows we're trying to go to Terry every play. And then he still caught the ball. I mean, his jump ball skills, we didn't really talk about that, but they're top tier. Double coverage, whatever. He's going up and he's trying to get that ball, and he's most likely coming down with it. I would say 75% of the time.
The reason it even entered my mind, because I was going to be like a joke, be like, oh, I'll give you Treylon Burks for Terry McLaurin. And then I was like, wait, they already have a rookie receiver.
Yeah, and I think that's why that's why I like the Jahan signing or draft, because like I said, people think because Terry's coming to the last year of his deal that they're just going to replace him with Jahan Dotson. No, not at all. I think Jahan could be a similar type of wide receiver, but he is smaller. We haven't seen him in the NFL yet, but he obviously all of his tape says he's got great hands, good speed, good route running, can go over the top, can jump ball too. But it still doesn't tell me that we're trying to replace Terry.
I think
anyway.
I think you guys drafting him was more about the Curtis Samuel thing not working out last year. Like if Curtis Samuel had 1,000 yards last year and was a great compliment to McLaurin and was healthy, obviously that was the biggest issue.
Mhm.
Different story maybe, but I mean, like you said,
And plus,
you
the
need
role that
all the
Curtis can
weapons.
play is a little different. I mean, he's really good in the slot. He's really good doing those trick plays, coming around and reverses, playing even a little bit of whatever it is, a little mix and match, running back, whatever. I think he can
Hmm.
still have that same role that we intended for him last year if he stays healthy. Which right now he's been going through all of the, pre OTA, all that good stuff. Now mini camps. Every report is he's running crisp. He's running fast. He looks like the Curtis Samuel that we brought him in to be. Obviously, with groin injuries, it spark back up again. Like you never know. But either way, I think it was just just to solidify the offense, and
Yeah.
also to give Carson Wentz as many weapons as he could have. Because we
Yeah.
still have De'Ami Brown, who people don't talk about a lot, who had not the best rookie season, but it was our offense. It was tough. And then Cam Sims, he's a big body wide receiver that, in my opinion, doesn't get enough play time because when he's out there, he makes plays left and right.
Yeah.
So we said we have the depth of wide receiver to also keep him fresh leg, to give Carson Wentz no excuses to have options. Logan Thomas is still there. We drafted a young tight end. I don't know. I think anything is possible with this team. They just got to do it. And number one step to that is to sign Terry long term. He's the number one captain on that team.
Well, I hope he gets signed, but
It
we
is a
shall
business.
see.
You never know.
Trevor?
I was just gonna say that was the other point I was thinking of earlier. Is like he's he's a different kind of receiver where you don't think of him as much as a diva type as he came in his rookie year and was captain. So I mean, just pay the guy the money.
Yeah, and he's not in the whole missing mini camps thing. I don't hold it against him. We had a whole podcast about people holding out. Um, it's part of the process now. Like he just wants to get the deal done, and this is the steps he's going to take. It sucks he's missing reps with Wentz right now, but it is what it is. They Wentz and
They
him
should
have
have gotten work
communicated, unlike some
already.
reports would say. They've communicated. They're talking still, and I think most of the players on our team understand what he's doing, and they support Terry for what he's doing. Get your money, boy, and he deserves it. That's simple.
Yep. All right.
On to the next.
Let's move on to this win-loss predictions. We're not gonna do a super deep dive. It's kind of we have a feeling for what these teams should be. I think we'll just bring up the matchup. We'll talk about it as a group, and 2/3 vote will decide if it's a win or a loss. And we'll go from there. We're starting with the AFC North. Are you guys ready?
Yep.
Let's do it.
All right. So just because of the order that I have things, let's start with the Ravens. They start week 1 at the New York Jets.
Well, are we going down the list?
What do you mean down the list?
You want to go through every single team, every single game?
Yeah.
I'm gonna say win for the Ravens.
Yeah, I had a win.
Yeah. If they start the year with a loss to the Jets, and I think the Jets will be much improved, that will be a rough start to the year. All right. Now, week 2. Some of these aren't going to be that hard, but the closer ones we can definitely discuss more. Week 2 at Miami. No,
it's
not at
home.
Miami. Yeah, Miami coming to Baltimore.
I had it
Um,
as a win for Baltimore.
Yeah, I'm gonna give Ravens a win, but I think that's gonna be a good game to watch. Depending, we'll see what happens with Tua and all that. But
I
it's gonna be a
think
good game to watch.
I think
I give the
that
Ravens the advantage because they're at home mostly, and it's still. I mean, the Dolphins have Hill, and early in the season, we'll see.
I think that Miami loss was really rough for the Ravens this year.
They played
And
bad against Miami throughout their whole career, though. Miami
But-
has been one of those teams that beat the Ravens a lot.
But I think that week 2, early in the season, the Ravens are going to have this game circled. And also, it's going to be early enough that if Tua is going to pop off, their team chemistry might not be fully there. So I'm going to go win for the Ravens.
Same.
All right. Week 3 at New England.
Is it in New England?
Yep, in New England.
I still had the Ravens winning this
Yeah.
one.
Yeah.
Yeah, the teams are kind of built similarly. Run the ball, solid defense, but it's Lamar versus Mac Jones, and it's not like it's early in the season, so Foxborough isn't even really that
Cold
cold
yet.
home field advantage yet. So I think
No,
it's fair.
I do think Mac Jones will take that next. He did really good last year. I think he'll take a step this year too and keep going in the right direction. I didn't talk about big steps because of what he did last year. Similar, accurate, short passes, get it done in the end zone, red zone.
I wish he had a
I
better
think they
receiver.
overachieved
Yeah.
last year. I think they
Exactly.
overachieved
Those are
last year, and I don't think
overachieved.
they've really gotten much better. And they lost Josh McDaniels, and Bill Belichick's like, we don't need an offense coordinator.
Not that bum, at least.
Yeah, so I think the Patriots are gonna have a rough year.
All right, week 4, probably the first test for the Ravens. At home against Buffalo.
I'm
I
gonna
had
give
this
it to
as
the
their first
Bills.
loss.
Yeah, I'm gonna give
Yeah.
it to the Bills.
One, it's hard to rattle off 4 straight wins to start the year. 2, as talented as Lamar is, I think it's very hard to argue that Josh Allen, his probably only match right now is probably Patrick Mahomes,
And Bills defense
maybe Herbert. But yeah,
Bills defense is good.
Bills defense
Straight
is
up good.
And the Bills, they'll spread you out. Josh Allen can take off. He can launch it downfield. The Ravens have a new improved. Well, they've always had a good secondary, but it's kind of an improved secondary.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm just gonna say my hunch is that the Bills take that.
Yeah. Obviously, any given Sunday, we never know, but this is just off the guts.
Yeah. All right. Week 5, Sunday Night Football. The Bengals come to town.
It'll be a tough one.
Yeah, I gave this one to the Ravens mostly because it's at home.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, and then you could probably split this series, but
similar to what I said about the Miami game, the Bengals embarrassed Baltimore twice last year. I think it's going to be a primetime game at home. I think they're going to kind of show out and take this one. Then week 6 at New York Giants.
I have this as a win. I have this one as a win for the Ravens, but I do think the Giants are going to be a little bit better this year than people think.
Yeah.
It's a 1:00 game, right?
I don't have the time, but it's not a
I
prime
think
time
it's
game.
a 1:00 game, and because of that, there's not going to be a lot of attention to it. So I think the Ravens will take care of business. If it was like a random Monday night game or something, I would be more inclined to say maybe an early season trap game, but
this is one of those games where I would have to look at again once the season's underway. Because if Daniel Jones is playing good and Barkley's bouncing back, I might readjust. But as of right now, I feel like there's no way to argue that you think the Giants would be favored for this game.
Yeah, honestly, I still think that they're going to be. I mean, I think they'll do better. They had a great draft, all that, better than last year. But I still think they'll be the last team in the East.
Yeah.
When it's all said and done.
All right.
So we'll keep going. Sorry.
No, what were we gonna say?
I was gonna say we've agreed on everything so far.
Well, that's good. Like mine's. Week 7. They are home against Cleveland.
Browns.
This is going to be early in the season, so we don't know who the
Could
Browns
this be
quarterback.
Deshaun Watson's first game as a Brown, depending on how many games he gets suspended. That's why it's an interesting talking point because who's quarterback? Because it's not going to be Baker. That's for sure.
So the way I kind of did this division, I went with the assumption that Deshaun Watson's probably going to be suspended maybe up to 8 games.
Yeah.
8 games, yeah.
I'm giving the edge to the Ravens because, once again, they're at home, and I don't know if Deshaun Watson's going to be there.
Those are my biggest points, too.
Yeah, I go to home field advantage, and I think Watson either won't be playing or he'll have just came back from suspension.
Need some
I know-
cohesiveness before you get going there.
I know Nick Chubb usually pops off against the Ravens, at least as far as I can remember, but I'm giving it to the Ravens for this one. All right, week 8. The Ravens are making the drive down to Tampa Bay.
I had this as an L.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm gonna give it to Brady in the
I
books.
think the Bucks' run defense is solid. They're well coached. Well, they were a new coach now. I think they'll continue to be a
Aaron's
well-disciplined team. And as much as I hate saying this, until I see Brady fall off,
Yep.
I think he's gonna continue to make the right passes. They still have a pretty loaded receiving core, and they typically are a team that can run the ball when they need to.
Yep.
All right, week 9 at New Orleans, so they continue their road trip down south. I think this is a win. I don't think the Saints have the firepower. And there's no way to even say like Jameis looked good. Jameis looked good last year, but Sean Payton's gone and he's a quarterback whisperer. So who's to say that Jameis hasn't kind of gone back to his old ways? And the Ravens typically are opportunistic defense, and if you give them the chance, they will take the ball away.
I have it as a loss.
What's your
First
reasoning? Maybe you can sway us.
Even though your argument is valid with Sean Payton being back and he's coming off injury, I do think Jameis Winston's going to have a continuation of last year and stay healthy. And because it's Monday night, the stadium should be packed and they should have a little bit of an advantage there. I think it's going to be a close game, like a 24-21 type deal.
But let me counter your argument. The Ravens will be coming off of Thursday night football.
Yes.
So they'll have an 11-day gap.
Yes, a long wait. And they're going to come off a loss to the Buccaneers. They're going to have a lot of time to think and too much time to think. Sometimes rested legs aren't prepared legs.
I'm going to say you might have to convince RJ if you want to change because I don't like Dennis Allen.
I don't like Dennis Allen either. I'm only picking the Saints because it's at New Orleans, and I think Jameis Winston's going to have a good year.
Yeah, I just don't trust in Jameis yet.
You've been overruled.
And I think the Saints should have a good defense again.
Yeah, they drafted Chris Olave. They got weapons.
They lost Marcus Williams to the Ravens.
Yeah, but then they signed Marcus May.
Yeah,
so he's downgraded.
But Marcus Williams is going to be leaking all their secrets.
Yeah,
it's true though. His insider. Yeah.
I might have to change my pick.
We convinced him.
I'm just kidding. I'm staying with it.
All right. Well, keep your picks so we can see who's the smartest of us all throughout the season.
So yeah,
but I'm gonna put it as a no interference win for the Ravens. Week number 10 is a bye week, so
Ravens lose.
Week 10. You never
Ravens
know.
Fans now.
God damn it.
I think a week 10 bye. It's a good bye week.
Right in the middle.
Week 11 at home versus Carolina.
I got Ravens with the win on this one. Carolina hasn't even figured out what their team is yet, so that defense is the only thing they got.
Why is this schedule so easy?
They do have an easy schedule. I was literally thinking that already. I was like, this is a pretty simple, pretty easy schedule.
Well, this is week 12. That was a consensus, right? They're winning week 11 against the Carolina Panthers.
They're winning week 12 too. You can't pick the Jaguars as the trap game.
Why not?
That is actually a perfect trap game if you think about it.
I don't think it is.
At this point, we have them 1, 2, 3, 4, 5,
Lamar
6,
Jackson
7, 8.
Going home to Florida.
We have them 8-2, and Trevor Lawrence should be improved. Doug Peterson should have the Jaguars
Plus, they play
moving
bad
in the right
against the Jags.
direction.
They do.
They will have a tough end of year. They need to win against the Jaguars.
It is. Is it? I say I didn't pick it as an L, but I could see it being a game I wouldn't bet on. That's for sure.
All right, so RJ, you're the decider. What are
No,
you saying?
I think the Ravens win. But when you said trap game,
Traitor.
I'm like, no, we look at. See, it all depends on where the Jags are at that point too. Because if Trevor Lawrence doesn't make that next step and they're fucking 0-8 or 0-9 or wherever we're at that point, then they probably get that one win, and that could be against a good team, especially when they come in with that mentality that this is a bad team we're playing, and they how it is. No matter what you say, they still underestimate teams every day.
Alrighty, week 13 at home versus the Denver Broncos.
And in Baltimore, I'm going to give them an L.
I'm giving them an L as well.
I'm giving them an L too.
Yeah, I think the Broncos are going to have a good year.
The Broncos
Russell Wilson's probably going to disappoint the fans at M&T.
The Broncos on paper should be one of the more talented teams in the league. It's Russell Wilson. He has good receiving cores, good running backs. Defense is solid. I think just right now, Broncos are a smidge better. All right, week 14 at Pittsburgh. I am saying an L.
Me too.
I think Baltimore is better, but I think it's at Pittsburgh. For all we know, Pittsburgh might just be waiting just for a chance just to steal one from the Ravens. They seem to play like this could be a game where the Steelers defense just takes over early and puts the game away.
Yeah, I think it's just going to be a tough division game. I'm not high on the Steelers. It's really hard to beat. It's hard to win twice against the same team, and the Steelers are always a tough go for the Ravens.
That's the first time they play this year, right?
Yeah.
So, that's why I gave them a W. So I'm actually off from you guys this time.
You lied.
Maybe the second game is where the Ravens might lose. But I think depending on Pittsburgh, we don't know how Pittsburgh's quarterback situation is going to end up. It could be complete mess. I'm just saying. It's just I'm not full confident in Pittsburgh. I think they're going to be the bottom of the division as a whole anyway.
Well, yeah, but it's a good division. But yeah, I think they're going to.
So we split that one.
Yeah.
Well, Archer's going to lose this battle.
We've had one difference.
All right, week 15 at Cleveland. What do y'all think?
I had this as an L.
L, yeah, to the Browns.
I had it as an L too. Assuming Watson is back, they've had time to gel. It's in Cleveland. The dog pound is pretty ruckus. This is end of the year race for the division type game. Nick Chubb might be just steamrolling at this point. Who knows? I think the Browns take this game.
Yep.
All right, week 16.
All agreements.
It is a Saturday night game. Baltimore is home against the Falcons.
That's a W.
Destruction. I think this could be a 30-point victory. Showing up
Vegas.
for the fans Christmas Eve.
This is the big sass lock of the year.
Yeah, unless somehow Mariota becomes like that guy, and there'll probably be a Desmond Ridder by that point to see how he's doing, and it's just going to be a walk in the park, hopefully, for Baltimore.
Yeah, unfortunately, just Atlanta, I don't think they're there yet. Week 17, home against Pittsburgh.
I had this one as a win.
This one as a win.
The sweepy sweep of the Steelers this year.
Oh. All right, so they got a W there. And then last game of the year, week 18, possible division on the line at Cincinnati.
Unfortunately, I'm giving them an L. In clutch games against the Bengals, they have not played well.
So
must-win games.
The way this will give a little insight into the rest of my division, but the way I have them losing this game, but because they've already clinched the division.
Ooh.
Ooh.
Send the Bengals ain't gonna do it again.
So
Yeah, I think the Bengals will need this game, and I don't think the Ravens will.
I mean, the Bengals, their schedule is a little kind of brutal. Not brutal, but
Yeah.
it's hard. But yeah, I think, like you said, it could be. It doesn't even matter. But I think the game at least will matter for the Bengals, and it's home for them, and they've shown that at least their trajectory is that they're a team, at least how they're built now, that they can put up points on anybody.
Mm.
So
Good call.
I have it as a win for the Bengals. So we have, let me just get the final tally. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
I
That
had
it?
the Ravens going 10-7.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yep, we have the Ravens 10-7.
Yeah, I got them at 11-6.
Yeah. I mean, it's definitely an easier schedule. It's mainly that division. But realistically, I think we're giving them that they'll probably fall into a bad season for them will probably be 10 wins or so, and then they could maybe get into that 13 win as a really really like overreaching. But I think, did I say 10 wins? I mean, below 10 wins would be a bad season for them. But I think 10-11 wins is a realistic for them.
Yeah, I think as long as they stay healthy this year, their
Yeah.
defense should bounce back a little bit. And I think Lamar Jackson most likely isn't going to be playing without a new contract. So hopefully he shows out with a new contract.
Yeah. Yep. All right, let's move on to the next team, the Cincinnati Bengals. Week 1, home against Pittsburgh.
I had this one marked down as a win.
Win.
Yep. I think I messed my stuff up. I think Pittsburgh, what did I just do? I think Pittsburgh is going to be still finding their identity on offense, and Cincinnati isn't going to want to play around coming off the Super Bowl loss, so they're going to start the season right and get that W. Week 2 at Dallas.
I have this one as a win.
Me too.
Yeah, Dallas, I think, might be worse off this year than they were last year. And then the Bengals are a team that can really get out in front on you. So they can get a quick lead, neutralize that Dallas pass defense, which is their strength, rely on Joe Mixon, put the game away. I'm going to go with Cincinnati.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, early game in Dallas, indoor. I see the Bengals. I think the Cowboys defense is going to be a little shaky this year. Bengals take advantage of that early on.
That'd be a good matchup.
Overrated. It's fine.
Jamar Chase versus Diggs.
Jamar Chase gonna have 150 yards and 2 touchdowns.
All right, Week 3 at New York Jets.
I have this one as a win.
Yeah, they did lose to the Jets this year, but I think that just plays into them not messing around.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Week 4, home against the Dolphins.
Win.
Yep.
Yeah. I'm just not a big fan of Tua, so I've been vocal about it. Then Week 5, at Baltimore, we already have this as a loss.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And you don't want to debate?
Nope.
No.
I'm just kidding, because you'd be debating yourself, which is
We already
stupid.
talked about it.
All right. Week 6, staying on the road at New Orleans.
Of course, Trevor's got the L there. But I'm going to give him a dub.
I had this as a loss too. For me, every team usually has like 1 or 2 unexpected losses. that's it for me. This is their game.
Fair enough.
Yeah, it's mostly because New Orleans is at home. They now have a defensive-minded coach. I think their defense will play fairly well this year. Give Joe Burrow and their offense a little bit of trouble compared to what they're used to. We'll see how much, but
I can see this as
I give them
a.
the win. I give them the road loss.
I can see this as an Alvin Kamara pop-off game.
Yeah.
All right, so we're gonna give them as an L for that one. Week 7, home against the Atlanta Falcons.
It's a W.
Yep. Win.
Yeah, sorry, don't have much to
At least
discuss
30
there.
points on that one.
Another
So the Falcons
big
just gonna have the
sass.
most points scored against them all year.
Apparently, just put all your bets against the Falcons and you'll come out a winner.
I best believe I'm gonna take that strategy into the season.
Big Sass safe bets of the year. The under or the whatever it would be against the Falcons.
Over under.
Yeah.
All right, week 8, at Cleveland Browns.
I'm gonna give them an L because of the facts that we talked about earlier in the season for the Browns. Could be Deshaun Watson's first game back, or he might not be back till the next week. I don't think without a solid quarterback in play, Joe Burrow, on the other side of the ball, will be just lighting them up. You have to score, keep up with them.
I'm gonna buck my previous trend and say this is a win, just because I think Watson will either still be suspended or will have just came back.
Exactly.
So I'm gonna give the Bengals a win on the road against a division rival.
In Dog Pound.
Yes, sir.
All right. Week 9, home against the Carolina Panthers.
To win.
Yeah, the thing with the Bengals is they have so much offensive firepower, and I am a Joe Burrow believer. So it's like similar to like Peyton Manning Colts, where it's just like if you don't have a competent offense, I just don't see you having a chance.
Yeah, this is a win.
Agreed.
Then they have another nice, similar to the Ravens, Week 10 bye. And then off the bye, they have a Sunday night game at Pittsburgh Steelers.
I have this down as an L.
Me too.
I think the Steelers about to get swept by the whole division.
I have it as a loss.
I'm not high on the Steelers either. I think division games are tough.
They are.
I don't want
to that division.
I don't want to put Mike Tomlin's face in the dirt too much.
I just think
Fair
Sunday
enough.
night
Come back to bite you in the ass.
Yeah, well, yeah, Mike Tomlin, he doesn't lose. It's a Sunday night game.
This could be a Najee Harris type game.
Yeah, could be.
Wear down the defense, keep the Bengals offense off the field. Whoever ends up being the Steelers quarterback has that Heinz Field backing them, dinking and dunking for the victory.
And also, TJ Watt can maybe, put the team on his back defensively, make the clutch plays when needed.
Minkah Fitzpatrick interception to seal the game off the new contract.
All right, you heard it here. Put that bet on the Minkah Fitzpatrick interception. All right, Week 12 at Tennessee.
I have this as a loss.
Yep.
Titans get their revenge.
I have it as a revenge game loss because I don't think Tannehill's going to throw 3 interceptions again.
Exactly.
And Derrick Henry should be healthy.
Now, is there any way Malik Willis is starting by now?
There's not a lot. There are a lot of things I'm hearing from Tennessee people that Malik Willis might sit, like not even be activated this year.
Gotcha. Just curious. I think the Titans will be playing well enough anyways for that not to happen, because I think the only way he would start is if Tannehill was playing like garbage, and if he was, you guys probably wouldn't be winning.
Yeah.
But I don't think that would be the case, and King Henry will have his dinner.
A feast for kings.
Yeah, I just think I just don't think Tannehill is going to just choke again. And
Shit the bed. Say it like it
Vrabel,
was.
is going to have him ready. And I just think you can't win them all, and this will be an L for the Bengals.
Yeah.
Week 13, home against Kansas City.
I have this as a W.
Me too.
I mean,
I think
they've proven they can do it before.
I think
The one
Burrow
team
just
that can
has.
keep up.
I think Burrow just has their number.
Yeah, I agree.
All right, that's easy
I think
enough.
I think coming off the tough revenge loss to the Titans, and they're just gonna, as you said, continue their
It's still gonna be
dominance
a great
against the
game. It's a
Chiefs.
game I'm gonna make sure I watch.
And
Okay.
the Chiefs lost some pass defense, and they lost the cheetah. So
don't worry. They added Juju though. Don't worry. It's fine.
Jesus.
Mr. TikTok. So.
yeah, well, that's just jinx their season. Alrighty, week 14, home against the Cleveland Browns.
It's a W.
I have this as a loss.
What do we have them winning
First
on the
game we said
road?
because of Sean. It's the same thing as the Ravens. That we don't know how. The
I
Browns
had
are gonna
them
be as a team
winning
at that
against the
point.
Browns the first game. I think you both did too.
Mm-hmm.
So
100%.
I had this as a L.
Yes.
So what do we say? What do we agree on?
We all said
2 out
L.
of 3. No,
Oh,
I said
okay.
W.
Yeah, sorry, I just said W.
Because I think the Bengals are gonna have a great year as a whole and still win the division.
Yeah, I think I just think they're going to split with the Browns. Sean Watson either has had steam from earlier in the season or not. We'll see.
Yeah. All right, week 15 at Tampa Bay.
I have this as an L.
Oh, I have this as a win.
It's going to be hot Sunday in Tampa Bay
Against Brady and the
in
boys.
December. Yeah.
All right.
Going to be some cramping up.
That was the first time that's where me and Trevor were the same, and
You
West Side
fools.
was different.
All right. Then week 16 at New England.
This is going to be a victory.
Yes.
By at least 20 points. It's going to be a Christmas Eve feast for the AFC North.
I had this as a L.
Disagree again, West Side on the outside.
Saturday game in the cold Foxborough weather with Burrow in his small hands and New England's power
You can play
run
in the
game.
cold. Cincinnati gets cold.
All right, so not that cold.
Not that cold, but still up there a lake
right.
across from Canada.
Giving them the W. Then week 17, they are home against the Buffalo Bills.
I'm giving it to the Bills.
Excuse me.
Whoops.
What?
I think I did some of my calculations here.
Well,
I have this against a loss against the Bills.
RJ, what did you have?
A loss.
Yeah, I have it as a L. Alrighty, and then we have them winning in Baltimore to end the season, so that brings them to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 wins. So tied with the Ravens, and they split head to head. So then I can't do the tiebreaker off the top of my head right now, but yeah. Yeah, and I feel like, again, I feel like 10 wins for them is kind of their floor. Like, I feel like they could pop off. Like RJ, you were saying, you think they're going to, like, potentially compete for, like, number 1 seed?
Yeah, because I have them going 13-4.
All right. But yeah, still a very good season. And they have a nice week 10 bye, which is really helpful. But let's move on to the next team, the Cleveland Browns. This is going to be a little more controversial because we're going to be guessing about who their quarterback's going to be. But let's get started. Week 1 on the road at Carolina Panthers.
It's a win, but I'd still like to know who's going to be under center.
Yeah. Trevor?
I had this marked as a win, but I'm I'm unsure, but I'm keeping it as a win because that's what I chose.
All right. I have it as a win. I just, regardless of the the Browns quarterback issue, the Panthers have it too. And I just think they have the better roster. When in doubt, just hand it off to Nick Chubb and hope for the best. Week 2, home against the New York Jets.
A loss.
Oh.
I had this as a win.
I'm not going to lie. I had this as a loss too.
Mostly what you just said. I just think should have enough to beat the Jets.
The Jets should be improved this year. Is my biggest.
I think it's early enough in the season.
In the right direction.
I think it's early enough in the season, and I'm also assuming that the Browns aren't going to have Deshaun Watson.
Yes.
I think it's early enough in the season that the Jets are going to be drinking their own Kool-Aid. Zach Wilson might still be starting off a nice start to the season. So I'm going to give this an L to the Jets. Sorry, Sass, you've been overruled.
It's quite all right.
All right. Week 3, home against the Steelers.
I think they're gonna. If there's no Deshaun Watson, especially, it's gonna be probably a Browns loss. But I don't know. It's a tough one.
Steelers I had as a loss.
Yeah.
All right. I had this as a win, but it's close. I think without Deshaun Watson, these teams are pretty even. But if you guys both have it as a loss, I can't really argue with that.
Yeah.
So let me get that written down. Loss against Pittsburgh, and then I give Pittsburgh that win on their schedule. All right, week 4, the Big Sass lock of the week, Cleveland Browns at Atlanta Falcons.
I do have it as a win.
Yeah.
Take it to the bank.
Falcons are just going to suck butt this year.
All right, I can't really argue. I like Arthur Smith, but I just don't think that there's just so little talent on that Falcons team.
Yeah, never know that Mariota could come out slinging it hot. You know,
he could,
it just depends.
He ain't slinging nothing.
Yeah.
All right, week 5, home against the LA Chargers.
It's a loss.
Loss.
Chargers probably are the most talented team in the league. In my head, this is without Deshaun Watson. If the Chargers lose to this, which, hey, Chargers are cursed, but if the Chargers lose this game, I will say same old Chargers, they'll never win.
Wait, you had this as a loss for the Chargers?
No. I'm giving a loss to the Browns, but I'm saying if the Chargers lose, it's because they're still cursed and they're never going to do anything until I don't know what they have to do to break that curse, but they got to break it.
Gotcha. I have this as a loss.
Week 6, home against New England.
Loss.
Big L.
Yeah, I have it as an L too. Then we have on the week 7 on the road at Baltimore. We already have that as an L.
Mm-hmm.
Week 8, home against Cincinnati. We already have that as an L. And then we have a week 9 bye to save them from this 4-game losing streak.
It's going to continue.
That's a bad streak right there.
Okay.
Bye week 2 because here comes
week
Deshaun Watson with 15 more charges.
Week 10 at Miami.
I have this as an L.
I'm with that.
I have it as a win. In my head, this is off the bye, Deshaun Watson coming out. But it's not like I'm confident, so we're gonna give them an
Yeah.
L at
Especially,
Miami.
it all lies on Tua. Can Tua get the ball to his receivers?
All right, week 11 at Buffalo.
L.
L.
Yeah, go with superior talent, the superior quarterback, the better coach team. Week 12, home against the Buccaneers.
It's
Now,
L.
yeah, depending on how Deshaun Watson is at that point, though, too, I think it could be a really competitive game. They could pull it off, but my gut always goes with Brady.
My thing is, and I've been kind of evaluating as we've been talking, even with Deshaun Jackson playing, their receiving core is not. It's not like you got Amari Cooper, but he's on the decline, and their number 2 is Donovan Peoples-Jones, who is okay.
Mm-hmm.
So
is Odell going to resign with them or what? Because that's what the number one reports I'm seeing is that's what's going to happen.
I think so.
Also, back to the Saints, I forgot they did get Jarvis Landry too, which I know you guys aren't really high on Jarvis, but he still gets catches.
All right, so we're having the Browns lose to Tampa. Is that what we agree on?
Yes.
All right.
Not looking good for the Browns this year.
Week 13 at Houston.
It's a W.
Are we on Houston?
Yeah.
Yeah, I have that as a win.
Yeah, I like Houston's quarterback potentially, but the rest of the roster is lacking. Week 14 we have
A win.
We have them winning at Cincinnati, and in week 15 we have them winning home against Baltimore. God,
so we do, but I think I disagreed with that one.
We'll see. Then we have week 16. Week 16 home against New Orleans.
New Orleans takes the W.
Yeah, I had it as a loss.
Yeah, it's not looking good on my board right now for the Browns. I'm saying.
All right, week 17 at Washington.
I have this as a loss.
That's a L. No bias there either.
All right, L. And then week 18 at Pittsburgh.
I have this as a loss.
I'm actually going to I have a W, so
I have a win here.
I think they're losing both to the Steelers.
I have that as a win.
So how I have it, they only win in 4 games this year.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So
which would be the worst record they've had in a long time.
I have them going 6-11.
That would be Tomlin's first losing season.
Tomlin, this is the
Browns.
I was reading the
idiot.
Yeah. I was reading.
He also
the
said
Steelers
Deshaun
schedule.
Jackson earlier, but instead of Watson, but I didn't say nothing.
Who, me?
No, Taylor did. He said even if Deshaun Jackson is playing, I was like,
I can't say anything about people messing up names
I was
after that Thursday night debacle.
I was referring to them signing Deshaun Jackson to help the receiving core.
Did they sign Deshaun Jackson?
It's a what if, okay?
That mofo retired.
At
least
he's
should.
Not official, but he's trending towards that.
So yeah, not a good season for the Browns.
14. That's ugly.
This is what happens when you stab a potential franchise quarterback in the back.
Exactly, though. I'm a Baker fan, so I feel like they're doing a big dirty.
Yeah, I just don't think they're going to be able to. Watson's probably going to be out, and I don't think they're going to be able to survive that.
Because what happens when you sign a pervert?
I didn't say it.
66 different masseuses.
All right.
That's a lot of hands.
Pittsburgh Steelers, last team in the division. We have them week 1 at Cincinnati. We already had that as an L.
L.
Week 2, home against the New England Patriots.
I have this as a W.
I have this as a W too. home field advantage early in the season. I don't know who their quarterback's going to be, but
Oh, yeah, no, I have it as a L. Sorry, I disagree.
I just think their defense is good enough that they can hold the Patriots offense. I think the Patriots defense is going to be a little worse this year. Najee Harris is still going to have fresh legs. And I have faith in Mitch.
Yes.
Week
all
4.
I do like Mitch, but
agreed.
RJ disagreed with us, but he was overruled. Week 4, home against the New York Jets.
So I'm giving them a win.
You skipped the Browns.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, we didn't do week 3 yet.
Week 3.
We already have that one down though.
At Cleveland Browns. Yeah, we already had that as a win for them.
Mm-hmm.
Week 4 at the New York Jets.
I have this as a W.
Win for the Steelers.
When you're a bad team, you got to take advantage of other bad teams. Week 5 at Buffalo.
It's a loss.
I have this as a loss.
Yeah, we're big Buffalo backers on this podcast.
Buffalo!
Buffalo!
We trust. Not that blue cheese nonsense, so you nasties.
They got good blue cheese up there.
Sorry, people will be taking a pause from the broadcast. We are removing RJ
mold.
from the show. Don't you ever slander blue cheese on the show again.
A nice, hot, crispy buffalo wing dipped in
I'd rather drink a gallon
lathered
of ranch in one sitting than have to taste one pinky tip of blue cheese.
Oh my god! That's
a lot of ranch.
A nice Lido's jumbo wing, just dipped in some blue cheese.
Hey, if wings are good enough, they don't need no extra sauce.
No, you need the blue cheese.
I forgot we got the sauce king here.
Sauce slut, if you want to be serious.
All right.
Whatever
Week
you
6,
want, buddy.
Week 6. Week 6. Pittsburgh is home against Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Loss.
Oh.
Loss. Big loss.
Better offense, solid O-line, neutralize TJ Watt, get the score up early and get out of there. Week 7 at Miami Dolphins.
Win.
You've been going to Miami and getting a win?
Yeah, I think Mike Tomlin's going to give Tua the fits, and they got a defense running around. TJ Watt maybe get 3.5 sacks this game. Minka gets a pick.
I agree.
All right. We're going to give them the W. Week 8 at Philadelphia.
Big L.
Let's just mark it up. We know what it is. It's a
Battle
win.
of PA.
Take it to the bank. Steelers aren't going to lose this game. I'm just kidding. Yeah, this should be...
The Eagles usually play well against the Steelers.
Yeah, and I think the Eagles are a little bit different offense. They can neutralize your pass rush to an extent. And I like the Eagles defense against Mitch Trubisky or a rookie quarterback.
Yep.
All right. Then we have a week 9 bye right in the middle of the season. Not bad. Coming out of the bye week, they're home against New Orleans.
I have this as a loss.
Loss as well. I agree with the Saints pick over here.
I have it as a win. I trust Tomlin off the bye, but we'll go with the L. You guys have no faith. Week 11.
Somebody's got faith in the Saints.
Week 11, home against Cincinnati. We have this as a W.
Indeed.
And then week 12, on the road at Indianapolis Colts.
I have a loss.
Trevor, I know you're a big Matt Ryan fan. What did you say?
Well, I think, as not necessarily a big Matt Ryan fan, I think he was a fan of the move itself.
He's doing his calculations.
It's 50-50.
No, I just messed up some of my counts before we started. The Colts, I have this as a loss.
Yep. All agreed there.
Yeah, give him the L. Then week 13, big lock of the year at Atlanta Falcons. We give him the W.
Huh?
We're giving them the W?
Yeah.
Yep.
All right. Week 14 home against Baltimore. We gave them the win, split that series. And then they go on the road, Week 15 at Carolina Panthers.
I'm giving them the win.
Yeah, I think there's a good chance at this point in the year the Carolina Panthers season's done, and the Steelers have shown under Mike Tomlin that they don't quit. And I mean, they're not even doing that bad this year by our schedule. So yeah, I give them a W. Week 16, home against the Las Vegas Raiders.
It's a loss.
Yeah, this is the AFC North not feast on
the
Christmas
AFC
Eve.
West is going to go off this year.
Yeah, I like Derek Carr. I think the Raiders have made some good moves.
He's not Aaron Rodgers. So. Can we get that? We didn't talk about that. Devontae Adams said that he's just like Aaron Rodgers. Get the hell out of here. You better put that head
he's
in
not,
singular position.
He's not, but
yeah, we'll save that for the
next week.
West.
We'll table that. All right, Week 17, we have them at Baltimore Ravens. We already gave them an L for that one. And then Week 18, we already have them home against Cleveland, taking an L. So their tally comes to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 wins.
It would be Mike Tomlin's first losing season.
Yep, 8 and 9.
Yes, it's so.
But I think we were pretty fair. So they could definitely steal one more win to get that winning season. But yeah, we have them 8 and 9.
6 and 11 myself.
What's funny is we have Bengals and Ravens at 10 wins, and then Steelers right behind them, only 2 wins away with 8.
See, mine's a little different than obviously the podcast as a whole. But the Ravens go 11 and 6, Bengals win the division at 13 and 4, Browns go 4 and 13, and then the Steelers are 6 and 11. So it's a little more.
Just destroyed the Browns.
Well, it's honestly, I mean, some of those could definitely change if we know Deshaun Watson's playing all year. But with that incorporated, it's just tough. It is what it is.
It is what it is.
It'd be a good year for that division.
Yeah.
Good to see who the really heavy hitters are.
I mean, hey, what if Kenny Pickett comes out and he's just lighting the world on fire as a rookie?
I mean,
with his
anything's
gloves.
possible in this league. We all know that.
Or
these are pretty early predictions.
His first cold game in Pittsburgh, he can't throw the ball.
Those damn small hands. Talk about Joe Burrow having small hands. He's got a half inch on Kenny Pickett.
we made a mistake.
Yeah, I just feel like there's a lot of storylines for this division, even with the teams that we don't think are going to win as many games.
I think it'd be better for them if Trubisky came out slinging right, and then you'd let Kenny Pickett sit behind him for a little while. I mean, I'm always pro letting the rookie quarterback sit back and learn.
Well, best case scenario, I think, would be if Kenny Pickett came out and was slinging the ball, because then your rookie's playing well. Of course you want that.
Yeah.
Like I said, I always lean towards the rookie sitting back and learning.
Yeah, Sam. Give him time to adjust to the speed of the league.
For a good example would be with Sam Howell in Washington. Everybody's like, "Oh, let him take over now." It's like, nah. Let Carson do his thing. If it works out, it works out.
Crazy Washington fans.
If he's, even if he's average, you don't have to re-sign him. Then you let Sam Howell take over. But even if he's good, is what it is. He'll sit back there 4 or 5 years, take over when the time's right.
Yeah.
All right, boys. Anything else you guys want to discuss?
Nope.
I think we're all set for the day. Nice little hour and 20 minutes almost.
Don't leak out our length of show information. It's private.
Don't leak out
my chair.
Length. What? I figure you can cut all that anyway. If not, then the fans will love this. Cut these.
Flagged. All right.
Nah, F them. Stick it to the man.
Oh my God.
All right. That does it. This is episode 16 of No Interference. We just finished discussing our win-loss predictions for the AFC North. Thanks for listening. Thank you to all of our subscribers and viewers taking the time to watch the show. As always, that does it. We are your host, Westside, Big Sass, and the Bull. If you like today's episode, like, share. If you're new, subscribe. Someone, I feel like people don't listen to the end of our show because I'm begging for comments and we never get them. Just someone, please, just drop one comment.
Don't even. It doesn't have to even have anything to do with the show. Don't even watch. Just comment.
Okay, how
Just
about
kidding.
this?
Watch, please.
How about this? I assume at some point we're gonna have T-shirts, no interference T-shirts. The first fan comment we get on any of our YouTube videos, free shirt.
Free T-shirt.
Well, we've already had fan comments.
We did.
Free hat.
Was
Yeah,
that for the
on
live
the
show?
No, we had comments on our first 2 videos.
Did
Well,
we?
the one was from another podcast.
No,
It was Ben.
our
Fox
very
Park.
first video we had nice job.
All right, starting now. Starting now.
My dad doesn't count.
I forgot. We did have more in the first. Okay, starting now. Any? Okay,
Going
how about
forward.
this? Non-related to a host comment.
And it has to be football related.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
if
don't
it's-
care about my dang
If it's a bad comment, we'll delete it and pretend it didn't happen.
language.
You will get a box of poo.
Shaped
Hey,
like
guys,
cold.
I just got my no interference. Oh my god!
No interference. This.
Oh man, that poor fan.
It poop again.
What time would do my business, devil woman?
All right. Well, that is a wrap. Adios.
See you later.
Peace.